The eternal night. It was said that the small town of Ravenshade experienced only one night of perpetual darkness every century. A night when the stars vanished, the moon hid, and the world seemed to hold its breath. Most dismissed it as folklore, but every 100 years, without fail, the event returned.
Amelia had heard the stories all her life, but like most of the younger townsfolk, she brushed them aside. On the eve of the eternal night, she stayed at her family's cottage on the edge of the forest, excited to finally experience the mysterious event. The darkness came quickly that evening. At first, it was subtle, the horizon swallowing the last hues of twilight. Then, as the final slivers of light disappeared, the world plunged into an oppressive blackness. Even the stars failed to puncture the void. Amelia lit a lantern and stepped onto the porch. The forest beyond her home seemed unnaturally silent, devoid of the usual rustling leaves and chirping insects. The air felt heavy, pressing against her skin. A whisper, faint yet clear, floated through the silence. Amelia, she froze, her breath catching in her throat. The voice was low and guttural, as though it came from the earth itself. "Who's there?" she called, holding the lantern higher. Its feeble glow seemed swallowed by the night. The whispers continued, growing louder, weaving a tapestry of words she couldn't fully understand. Yet, one phrase became clear.
"The debt must be paid." Amelia's lantern flickered, and a shadow moved at the edge of the forest. Her heartbeat quickened as she realized the shadow wasn't cast by her light. It moved with intent, inching closer.
Panic set in, and she stumbled back into the house, bolting the door behind her. The whispers followed, now surrounding the cottage. The walls groaned as though unseen hands were pressing against them. She recalled her grandmother's warnings. When the eternal night comes, stay inside. Do not answer the voices, no matter how familiar they sound. A knock at the door made her jump. "Amelia, it's me." The voice was her mother's. Her mother had passed away years ago. Tears streamed down Amelia's face as she clutched a charm her grandmother had given her, a small silver pendant engraved with protective runes. The knocking grew louder, more frantic, the voice pleading and shifting between tones. "Let me in, please. It's so cold out here." The pendant warmed in her hand, and a sudden surge of courage filled her. "You're not real," she shouted, clutching the charm.
The whispers turned to screams, the walls quaking as if the entire house would collapse. Then, as quickly as it had come, the darkness receded. The first rays of dawn illuminated the cottage, and the oppressive silence lifted.
Amelia stepped outside, her legs trembling. The forest was calm once more, but a single message was carved into the porch. The debt remains. Moral of the story: evil often disguises itself in the familiar to prey on the vulnerable. In times of darkness, trust in your strength and the wisdom of those who protect you. Some warnings exist for a reason.